Hi everyone, and my name is Chris Tubby, and I'm founder of Trading for Tomorrow. And as usual, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a macro outlook for the week, months ahead, and also do some chart analysis for you on a few products that I trade in part 2. So let's crack on. Okay, so last week was a fairly quiet week considering what is going on in the world. A reminder, guys, Europe, UK, the clocks went back an hour. The US clocks changed next weekend. Okay, so stocks spent the week falling, except for tech, of course. Banks were the main reason for the Dow and the S&P drop. However, despite that, they ended the week pretty flat. Then gold consolidated after making it another new high. And oil hovered around $70, but rallied late on Friday to 72 for WTI. And that it could actually open a bit higher because of Israel finally hit Iran in response to obviously the attack on them a few weeks ago. The dollar had a good week, although it did give back a little bit on Friday. So Tesla pushed Musk's bank balance even higher. And of course that's good for Trump and the Republicans because Musk is a major donator there. And of course he's just added a bit more to that campaign. We're on a countdown. And there's only about 10 days to go to the election. And if Trump wins, car companies should do well. And that will obviously include Tesla. The result still seems close though, and polls are so rarely right these days. So it's just I think when people have to make that decision on the day, reality kicks in and you vote with your head, not with your heart. The market seemed to favour a Trump window, and the big question is, will either party actually win control of both the houses? So as I mentioned, Israel finally attacked Iran. It sent 3 waves of airstrikes on military targets, emphasis on the military targets rather than energy or nuclear. And then they declared that was the end of the retaliation. Although Iran seems to have judged the attack perhaps a bit more aggressive than what they expected. Hamas were quick to claim it so, and Hezbollah reacted by launching a drone attack against an Israeli airbase. So Israel continued to take the war to them in Lebanon. There was again in Gaza. Israel were attacking areas as well. So that's definitely not over, and it wouldn't take much to really ramp that up, especially if Iran decide to respond once more against Israel. Then that could really turn into a bitter war in the Middle East. So moving on, the EU economy continues to look weak, and there's talk now that could push the ECB into going big in December and possibly cut by even 50 basis points rather than 25. Expectations that the ECB will also continue cutting into next year as weakened the euro, especially as you can see that slower rate cuts coming potentially from the Fed. So you've seen that swing from the euro to the dollar. I mean, it got up to about 112. Now it's dropped 108 and could go a bit further. Just my view, not recommendation or anything. Just going back to the election result, it's most likely going to impact the pace of cuts as well. Because the US economy still remains resilient. All that COVID stimulus that was pumped in, it's okay. It's all those savings are potentially gone, but and I tell you one area that you just got to be a little bit cautious about is that debt defaults in the US are increasing. Credit cards, car loans, etc., etc. And just finishing off, this week's data will provide some insight into the US economy, because we've got the GDP, PCE, and of course that wonderful jobs data coming out, which finishes with NFP on Friday before the following week's election and FOMC meeting. Now, I'm going to be doing a webinar on the Monday, the day before the election and just before the FOMC meeting as well. Starts at 7:30, I think it is, GMT, because the clock's changing. And if you're interested, email me or just watch LinkedIn, because it's being posted on there already. And yep, so that's pretty much that. So going to be talking about, you know, the potential rate decision that's coming straight after the election, and of course the impact of whoever wins the election. And you know, that could even depend if Powell keeps his job or not. And then finally, you know, those bits and more other bits out, but the other thing that I'm looking at is the Bank Japan rate decision, but again I expect that to be unchanged. Okay, so there's another couple of slides and then I'm moving on to my analysis.
Now I just want to sort of just talk a little bit here about my services that I offer. So there's a daily newsletter that includes global news, headlines, my views, full articles. That is a subscription service. There's one-day workshops. You know, this will help you to discover if trading could be your next career or even just a second income. Otherwise, you know, maybe you're already trading, but you know, there's a few gaps that you'd like to fill in, and I can help you with that, because that will accelerate your trading and your performance. And then there's a 1 week intensive course. You know, that's going to make you feel competent and confident after just 1 week. It's going to give you those foundations that you need to build your trading career on. And you know, if you've got that in a trader, we'll find it. And now that does also include a free trading challenge. Then I do a Flexi Masterclass, which includes 6 weeks of guided learning. They can be split up, you know, you don't have to take them all at once. And this is designed to provide you with all the knowledge and trading tools that you're going to need to navigate any market and also on any asset class. You know, I trade them all. And as I say, you know, you can spread those weeks out over months if you need to. It's no problem for me. And again, that does include a free trading challenge. Now, trader mentoring, I'm doing more and more of this. And, you know, this is to help you reach that next level time and again. And, you know, I'm doing much more in the way of one-on-one sessions right across everything that I'm doing now, rather than sort of looking for big groups. I do provide a lot of trader educational content to individuals, exchanges and brokers. And as you know, as I mentioned earlier about the trading challenges, you know, if you're looking for a funded trading account, then you know, you can contact me for details just about the ones that I use, or you know, you can sort of take one of the courses where I'll give it to you for free at the end of it. Okay, so then moving on to our disclaimer, just to make you aware that trading does involve the potential risk of loss of capital and is not suitable for everyone, although hopefully it is for you. And many companies provide leverage, so just be aware that you can lose substantially more than that initial investment. Everything I include in here is just purely for educational purposes. I'm not trying to encourage you to trade or invest. That must be your decision. And of course, you know, before you make that decision, you've got to consider the risks involved, definitely your financial situation, your level of experience, and your risk appetite. And of course, it's important that you only risk capital that you're prepared, but also that you can afford to lose. And if you've got any doubts whatsoever, seek independent financial advice and do that before you risk your capital. So many people come and find me after they lost money, which is sad. You know, they should come to me before. And yeah, so listen, that's it for part one. I hope to see you in part 2, where I'm going to do some technical analysis.